Hey everybody, how are you doing? Apologies, my voice isn't all there. I spent all night yelling at a Yu-Gi-Oh game. Also why my mic is different. But hey, since you're here right now, I thought it would be a cool idea to just say a random number. You know, because hey, every once in a while in your life, you just need to say random numbers, okay? And so for today, I decided the random number should be, I don't know, 1,276. You know, I mean, like, I feel as random numbers go, that is a pretty solid random number right there, right? I mean, it's 4 digits, you know, you got the 1, and then you got the 2, and then you got the 7, followed by the 6. You know, you don't see it coming, you know, that's the whole point of having a random number, yeah. Well, it turns out that that number is actually not a random number. It turns out that number is actually representative of something very, very interesting. That number represents the total number of days since the last chapter of Hunter x Hunter. Just let that soak in for a moment. I'll have it fill up the entire screen. There we go! 1,276 days as of this video being released on May 24th, 2022. The last chapter of Hunter x Hunter was released in November of 2018. I was still working at Dollar Tree when the last chapter of Hunter x Hunter came out. All right, now look, any fan of Hunter x Hunter will know this is nothing different. Sure, this hiatus has been the longest out of all of them, the great hiatus as it were, but you know, we're no strangers to that. That's how this manga goes. But you know what? The great hiatus is coming to an end because this morning I woke up. I don't know what you guys do in the morning, but I tend to wake up in the morning, you know, I don't know. Actually, maybe the whole world is just a dream. Maybe this is still a dream. Who knows? But I woke up and I checked my phone, and on Facebook there was an article saying that Hunter x Hunter was coming back. And you know what? I instantly scrolled past it and just got up out of bed and made myself breakfast, not paying it any more mind, because I have seen, it was sort of like when Bleach ended, and for like every couple of months after Bleach ended, from like 2016, 2017, there was always an article that would pop up every once in a while that like Bleach is coming back, or the anime is coming back, or blah blah blah. And after a while you're just like, you know, if it's an actual like news story that's real and genuine, odds are it'll probably pop up again throughout my day, and as it happened, it did. So I have my breakfast and I sit down and I go on my laptop and I'm like, oh, here's the same story again. Still didn't click on it. And so I'm waiting, and then some people start tweeting about it, and I'm like, all right, maybe I should pay this some mind, and I look into it, and yes, from everything that it seems, it is a valid source, and the basic idea is that Yoshihiro Togashi, the mangaka of Hunter x Hunter, actually made his own Twitter account, because that was the thing that was throwing me off, because the article I read this morning when I woke up was like, you know, creator of Hunter x Hunter announces on Twitter, and I immediately was like, wait a second, I don't think Yoshihiro Togashi has a Twitter account. You know, like I was thinking about all the mangakas I follow. My favorite mangaka to follow on Twitter is Makoto Yukimura, who's the mangaka of Vinland Saga. By the by, my Vinland Saga collection is nearing completion down here. It's like I need 2 more omnibuses and I'll have the whole thing. So really excited about that. But I'm like, I don't think Yoshihiro Togashi has a Twitter account, so that's why I thought it was bogus at first. But then, as I looked into it, he created a Twitter account recently, and he posted an image of one of the pages of a Hunter x Hunter volume, or not a volume, but a chapter that he's working on right now, and it was revealed that there's actually 4 new chapters that are going to be released at some point in the future. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, these chapters are going to be released in the next issue of Shonen Jump. That's what a lot of people are really excited for, but probably not going to happen. But 4 chapters, seemingly either like the 4 chapters are already completed or they're very close to nearing completion, which when it comes to Togashi, very near, you know, is like, I don't know, 6 months. But we'll see how it goes. I'm pretty confident these will be released in the next few months. I guess we'll see how it goes, right? Also, Yusuke Murata, who is the artist behind One Punch Man. Did Mizuki always have orange hair? Was that always a Was that canon? I didn't know that. All right, Mizuki has orange hair. Anyway, Murata, who is the artist behind One Punch Man, also confirmed that the Twitter account is actually Yoshihiro Togashi's. All right, so we have some credulity here, and it's like, okay, so the Twitter account is definitely real, and the pages he's working on are purportedly real, and so new Hunter x Hunter chapter coming out. I'm pretty excited, but at the same time, I'm like not super excited because it's probably just going to be 4 more chapters and then we're going to go back to a hiatus again, because that seems to what happens with this kind of stuff. There's actually a website called HxH Hiatus, which is the entire point of the website is using graphs and statistics and charts and just keeping track of the monumental hiatus that is Hunter x Hunter. So go check out the website. I'll leave it in the link below. But it's really cool because you have like a graph here to showcase all the individual editions of Shonen Jump and which editions do not have a Hunter x Hunter chapter in. So there you go. And it's also ranked by arc as well. And so it just keeps track of everything. And I'll go on that hiatus website every once in a while just to keep track of like, how long's it been now? Oh, it's nearing 3.5 years since the last chapter. That sounds about right. All right, well, that's good to know that somebody's keeping track of this shit, you know? Oh, man. So that's like part of the video. I feel like, you could just read a news article about that though, okay? Like we're not even like, it's not even 10 minutes into the video and I've pretty much explained to you the entirety of the news article and the news about it's coming back, okay? We just don't know when and we don't know how long it's going to be out before it goes back on hiatus, if it's just going to be 4 chapters and that's it, or there'll be more. I'm assuming there's just going to be 4. But more importantly, I wanted to just discuss really quick that why can this happen with Hunter x Hunter? How can a series that has spent so much time on hiatus, and I haven't actually checked the statistic on this, but it would probably be on the hiatus website. I think in the lifespan of Hunter x Hunter, there's probably been more of it on hiatus than actual chapters coming out, probably, since it was serialized in the late 90s, I would assume. But the point is, no matter how much time passes, like it's been almost 3.5 years since the last chapter, but it could be 4.5 years, or it could be 7 years, or it can be 20 years, I feel, and the fan base will always be there. And that is something that also, it kind of warms my heart, but I also find just fascinating about the series, okay? That it doesn't matter how long it takes for the next chapter to come out. It's like we're all waiting patiently. And some of us might be less patient than others and be like, where's the chapter? I can't handle it anymore. But even in that case, it's still like, doesn't matter how much time passes. I guess we're just going to have to wait until, the next one is released. And you know the reason why? It's very simple. It's actually not hard to understand. Togashi is a good writer. I mean, he is. I mean, yeah, he's not a perfect writer. I mean, you could say, okay, there's a lot of info, dumps in his chapter. There's a lot of, exposition that's just thrown in there. Sometimes you'll have entire pages that read more of like a light novel than an actual manga. I don't in particular have a problem with those because I love it when a power system is just explored out the ass in a series. Like, I love that stuff. I love hard magic systems, okay? And whenever Togashi takes like an entire page, I'm like, I might as well not even bother with the panels. You don't need to bother with the panels at that point, Togashi. You could literally just take an entire page, no panels, and just write it like a novel or a light novel or whatever. And it's just like, here's all this stuff about Nen that I want to explain in this chapter. I'd be like, okay, here you go. Togashi, honestly, if he decided just to like give up the artwork and just decide to like write novels like about Hunter x Hunter, about that world, that would actually be preferable to me. I mean, not preferable. I would still prefer the manga, obviously, because that's the whole medium you fall in love with. But if he were to do that, I'd be like, okay, if he doesn't want to draw anymore, if he just wants to like, write out the series in like a novel format, I'll read the crap out of that too. It would be interesting. Maybe some sketches every once in a while on certain pages. That would be a neat way to do it. There's been so many analysis and like theory about like how is Togashi going to finish Hunter x Hunter. I think Togashi even came out once and said himself like, I think he said it in sort of like a half joking kind of way, but it was kind of like, yeah, I better finish it because I might die and I might not have it finished. So kind of a dark sense of humor there, but I think that was just him realizing that like, well, wait a second, and Togashi's not like super old or anything like that, but it's like, man, if I don't finish this, that's going to be leaving a lot of people hanging, and, I might not want to have that like left unfinished, if I get old enough to the point where maybe I can't draw anymore. So I think he's like thinking about it from that perspective. Tagashi's also married to the mangaka of Sailor Moon. I'm forgetting her name at the moment. I apologize. Somebody will like leave it in the comments down below who the mangaka of Sailor Moon is. But people have even said like, hey, Tagashi obviously has probably have like a list of stuff like how the Hunter x Hunter story is going to go and the stuff involving the different characters and the Dark Continent. He probably has notes of all this stuff, and I'm sure his wife would be aware. And I think it was even mentioned in another news article that, you know, if something were to happen to him where he was like hospitalized, or, you know, like a worst case scenario and he were to die, his wife would have like all the information that she would need to finish the story. Okay, and once again, there's been so much like news articles. Some of them are fake, some of them are real, so I don't even know if half the stuff I just said is like confirmed 100%. I feel like it is, but I could be off on some of that kind of stuff, so don't take my words for like 100%. You know, take it with a little bit of grain of salt, okay? Because it's just something that's out there. You know, it's like Hunter x Hunter's been on hiatus for so long, and it's sort of like the Game of Thrones book series. It's just like, you know, when's the next book coming out? You know, when's George R.R. Martin gonna do this? You know, when's it gonna happen? You know, not Winds of Winter, Dream of Spring, or whatever. When's that gonna come out, right? And so there's a lot of theories and false information swirling around these subjects, and Hunter x Hunter is no different. But yeah, so go and read the last chapter. I did this morning. I think it was chapter, actually, hold on, let me pull up the Hiatus website now. Check. Chapter 390 was the last chapter of the series. I'm not going to go into it because spoilers. I mean, it's been out for over 3 years, but spoilers. I had to go back and reread it, though. I had to go back and reread the last, like, 5 chapters this morning just to remember, like, where we are right now in the Dark Continent arc, or in the Succession War arc, because I didn't even know. I completely forgot where we were. Every year or so, I'll go back and read the last 5 just in case a chapter gets dropped out of nowhere. But typically, whenever they do come out, they're, like, announced beforehand. I think the last time the hiatus ended, it was announced, like, a month beforehand, like, the chapter's going to be coming out. And so, you know, that's the same thing here. But, you know, other reasons why I really love Hunter x Hunter, other than just the fact of the Nen system. And by the way, I really do intend on making an entire video about Nen. Like, I gotta do that. I know a lot of other YouTubers have already done that, and that was the reason, like, I was going to do it, like, a few years ago. I was going to do this big video on Nen, but then I was looking around, and I'm like, all right, you know, that popular YouTuber did a whole video on it. That popular YouTuber did a whole video on it. Nothing more I can really add to this, and if anything, I'll probably add less information than they do about it with the way I'm all scattershotted and everything making my videos. But at the end of the day, I decided, you know what? I'm rewatching the Heaven's Arena arc right now. By the way, that's another thing, too. I don't know if I'm the only person here, but I can literally rewatch Hunter x Hunter ad infinitum. Like, I could just keep watching it, and it never gets boring to me. Even though I know what's going to happen next, it's like a really good book, and you learn, like, or find out new stuff that you didn't, like, pick up on the first few read-throughs. That's Hunter x Hunter for me. I've rewatched the Chimera Ant arc, like, I don't know, 5-6 times, right? And, you know, the last time I rewatched it wasn't even that long ago. It was right after I moved into the house. I rewatched the whole Chimera Ant arc. I mean, I'll probably rewatch it again right after I'm done with the Heaven's Arena arc, because I skip around the series all the time. I very rarely ever watch it in order. So I actually rewatched the York New City arc, and then I rewatched Greed Island, and I'm rewatching Heaven's Arena right now. So I'll probably skip back to the Hunter exam arc after this. Like, I'm rereading it backwards or rewatching it backwards. But that's the thing. It never gets dull for me, okay? I'm not sitting there, like, skipping through the episodes like, okay, this one's boring, I'll watch 10 minutes of this one. No, it's like all the way through, I'm super invested. So I'm not the only one that has that, you know, impression from the series, okay? So that just speaks to Togashi's skill. Also, the anime, the anime is a really solid anime adaptation. Madhouse did it, and they're like one of my favorite studios to animate stuff. So, I mean, that's a big bonus as well. But I'm just saying, like, it's a genuinely good series, okay? Now, what was I going to say? There was something else. Oh, yeah. This is going to be a weird thing to say, and it's going to be seemingly, like, contradictory at first, but just bear with me on this. Another reason that I really love Hunter x Hunter, and I think this also might contribute to the hiatus, and this is where the paradox is going to come in. Togashi, whenever he does write his series, is very dedicated and thorough with it. Now, you might say right away, it was like, how can he be dedicated and thorough if we've been on hiatus for the last 3 damn years? Doesn't seem very thorough to me. It's like, no, but that's not what I mean. What I mean is, whenever he does commit himself to sitting down and writing out a story arc and drawing the characters and introducing a premise, he goes ahead full steam, 110%, okay? And my favorite example of that is the Greed Island arc. where Togashi, he didn't need to do this, and I've said it before, he went through and he made 140 cards for a fictional card game that you can't even play in real life just for the sake of his manga. And the vast majority of these cards do not even play a relevant role in the Greed Island arc. The Greed Island arc is also not a really particularly long arc. Chimera Ant arc is longer. The Hiatus arc is even longer than that. My point is, he didn't need to do that, and he did. And then I decided to make a whole video going through every single card in Greed Island. You could check that one out here, and that was a really fun video to make, honestly. But yeah, this is Togashi, you know? Hiatuses aside, health problems aside, whenever he sits down and he wants to do something, he doesn't do it in a half-assed way. Maybe the artwork, you could say that, but there is a medical reason for that. So, or maybe he just likes to play Dragon Quest or whatever. But yeah, the artwork does jump around, but that's another thing too. Some of the artwork in Hunter x Hunter is so bad that it really looks like he, you know, could barely make it out like past the sketching stage, you know, and it's not that great. But even with that, you can forgive him for it because the story is genuinely good. The characters are genuinely good, all right? So that's what I mean when I said about the light novel thing. Like, I would still prefer it to be in manga format, but even if it wasn't, if it was just words on a page, text alone, I would still love this story as much as I do reading the manga, okay? So, yeah. That's Togashi. That's Yoshihiro Togashi, the great mangaka that brought us Yu Yu Hakusho, another one of my favorite anime and manga series of all time. Another series that I can watch. I have the whole DVD collection of Yu Yu Hakusho. I can pop those in and watch them anytime I want. Dark Tournament arc, Chapter Black Saga, even the Three Kings, which sort of like kind of just ended the series right there. It kind of just fizzled out, and you can even read about how Togashi ended Yu Yu Hakusho, and there's a little bit of a story behind that, of the way that last arc went. But that's another thing, too. I can rewatch that series pretty much whenever. The dude is just a genius. Like, he's a legitimate genius, okay? Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is kind of a short one. I'm only about, like, 17, 18 minutes in, but whatever. I mean, that's what I wanted to talk about today. I'm also going to be continuing the Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories Let's Play tonight. I don't exactly know the exact time I'm going to start that, though, so just pay attention to my Twitter. I'll put it up there, but it will be tonight. We're going to be finishing the game, so that'll be fun. Anything else? Horse facts. I don't have horse facts. Bubble horse facts. Okay, well, a bubble horse is a monster found in Greed Island. It's in the desert area approaching Macedora. It's rank C, so it's the third hard. No, I guess it would be the fifth hardest rank because it goes double S and then A, B, C. So it'd be the fifth hardest rank in the game. It's a very difficult monster. It took Gon and Killua, some training from Biscuit in order to figure out exactly what the bubbles do and how to avoid them and how to capture the horse. So it's just another one of Gin's like schemes to train Gon and all that stuff. So yeah, there's your horse fact for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, everybody. This will be Tekking signing out. Oh, one more thing. There are a bunch of Hunter x Hunter related items in my studio right now, all over the place. I'm not going to tell you how many are here in the room, but if you can correctly guess every single one of them, then you win a sense of accomplishment. There you go. But yeah, there's a bunch of different items. Some of them are easy. I'll give you an easy one. It's my Paladin's necklace that keeps flipping around throughout the entire point of the video. But that was one of them. So there you go. There's a freebie, but there's other ones all around here. So, let me know. Later.